nervous system and the like. What these other discoveries will be, I will not know, but there are going to be lots of them being made as a consequence of completing the genome, that I'm certain.
Mm-hmm. Rochelle, if looking at the behavioral sciences, what do you see on the horizon?
My best guess is that we're actually going to learn a fair amount about the right way to describe cognitive architecture.
What does that mean?
Well, cognitive architecture has to do with the issue of how is it that the brain organizes itself such that information coming in from the outside can be processed in a way that gives meaning.
This would revolutionize education if this works and comes through. Right?
Well, it would. It would certainly be, no question that would be a major consequence. However, we could probably revolutionize education if we even understood how some conceptual changes that human beings have to go through as a process of development and experience.
Well, what we have to go through is a final question. I want everybody to think of a field of science, it could be your own or a different one, and a favorite breakthrough that you would like to see before the end of what I hope will be a very long life. So I'd like you to pick one breakthrough that will occur sometime in your lifetime. Which one would you like to see happen? Neil?
From what I know of the Human Genome Project, I understand that that could give tremendous insight into disease and other things that are enemies of human life. And so I'd look forward to that, actually, because all this talk about living to 150, well, let's try to live to 500. Why not? In fact, one of my regrets will be, apart from the ultimate death that will come upon me, is that I would not be around to see further scientific development. I look forward every week to reading the Science Times and seeing what has come upon
in all
society.
Different fields,
all different fields, all different fields, because almost all of it influences our lives daily, and I love it, every minute of it.
Well, this touches on Rochelle's observation, and although the brain seems in some ways to be an input-output device, in fact it's not. It does get some input and it does have an output, but by far and away the greatest activity is what one sometimes calls spontaneous activity in the brain. And what we don't really have at this point are the right concepts to think about something that is intelligent, that solves all kinds of problems, that perceives, makes decisions, but isn't really an input-output device. Right. So this means that not only do we need breakthroughs in basic neuroscience, but there is a certain sort of conceptual innovation that we need in order to try to think about what that sort of a thing is.
Tim?
It's, of course, inherently difficult to predict a real breakthrough because a great breakthrough in science is like a great work of art. And my definition of it would be that it changes not what you think, but the way that you think about it. It's inherently creative and therefore unpredictable. But if I had to back a horse, it would be something along the lines of information theory. Even evolution, for instance, can be viewed as a sort of communication channel. So I suppose the one I would hope for would be information theory.
Rochelle?
I hope for an understanding of how it is that human beings do so many things easily and computers can't do them. For example, we have no trouble walking around and not falling down. We have yet to build robots that can walk around and do that. We have no trouble understanding speech. Speech machines and generators are not too terrific. So what I'm looking forward to is enough understanding of the great accomplishments of human beings.
Francisco?
Well, the big question that I would like answered in my lifetime, and that will require that I live many, many years, is what makes, in our biology, what makes us human. We're so closely related to the chimps, you know, more closely related to the chimps than chimps are to the gorillas. And yet we are so different. We have technology, we have culture, we have language, we do all sorts of things that animals cannot do. What happened in evolution and what is in fact the critical difference, if there is one, of the critical differences between us and the apes, what makes us human.
Well, the deal I'll make with you is 50 years from today, we'll do the same program. You and I will be back. I hope these other guys, girls will be back, but you and I will.
And I plan to be for the 50th anniversary of that one, too.
Okay.
The word breakthrough has the right sound. When data just doesn't fit a current scientific model, a kind of stress builds up. It's then that something snaps. Old theories can't be reconciled or repaired, but must be replaced with new theories. Breakthroughs are rare and risky. They're initially unacceptable to most, but ultimately obvious to all. Some say we are at the end of science, with no more breakthroughs left to discover. Does that sound right to you? You keep watching, and we'll keep watch. That's how we'll get closer to truth. I'm Robert Kuhn.